Hey kittens and cats, Ed Earth Credit Miser Bud here. Today I'm considering the best value running shoes that I've picked up over the past year, which have provided the best experience, longevity and all-round fun factor for the amount of Earth credits that I shelled out for them. Thanks for joining me today guys. If you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button and click the bell below for notifications of when I launch the new videos on the channel. It really helps us out in terms of the YouTube algorithm as well if you give this video a thumbs up like. And of course you can pick up some merchandise from the links below to further help out the channel. Let me know the best value you've gained from a running shoe down in the comments. Firstly, I just want to outline what constitutes value to me. I think certainly durability needs to be taken into account, perhaps maybe a combination of stellar fit and underfoot experience. Of course, for a very meagre number of Earth credits as well. Versatility's got to be right up there, along with the total enjoyment that you've experienced from running in the shoe. It's got to be a shoe that makes you feel like you want to run, right? That's going to be enjoyable and make you want to get out there. Surely that's got to have some bearing on value. Perhaps it accompanied you on a race and helped you to achieve a personal best or a PR. I think I'll put all of those different things into the value cauldron, stirred, of course, by the hands of time. Let's get to it. First up for me is the Puma Liberate Nitro. Quite how Puma have managed to do it, I just don't know. But for sub 100 Earth credits, they've managed to produce a super light and responsive racer and trainer. 10mm drop here and a very foot-hugging upper. It's never failed to surprise me every time that I've put it on. Anything between a 5k blast and the half marathon distance, I've always found there's easily enough cushion there. A few people have mentioned that they felt it didn't have quite enough for that, but for me, maybe my more slight figure, I'm a wisp away from being a windsock. Perhaps my lighter build just works better with the nitro foam here, but there's easily enough for me for a half marathon. Doesn't feel quite as brittle perhaps as Zoom X, this nitro foam, and it's a lot more stable than Fuel Cell. No noticeable wear on the outsole whatsoever at this point in my testing, and to make things even better, I didn't even have to pick the shoe up for retail price. I think I picked it up for 75 Earth credits UK. So it is a true victory for value. Just one point I did want to make about the Liberate Nitro. A few people mentioned that it was very loud. I haven't found that at all. In fact, I found quite the opposite. They compared it to the Tempo Next Percent in terms of loudness, and that's just not a thing. I mean, the Tempo Next Percent is louder than some World War II artillery must have been. It's the Who, in fact, of shoes. So that's the first on my list. For the amount of Earth credits I picked it up for, it's got bags and bags of value. Second up on my list of victorious value valedictorians is the Pegasus 38 from Nike. I bought this at just over 100 Earth credits UK and very quickly got to 100 miles in it. I feel it brings some serious value to the table, mainly due to its do-it-all vibe really. It can play all the instruments relatively well. Nike have persisted with the popular model for 38 iterations now, and the Pegasus always seems to have a following from those hardcore daily runners. They always seemingly return to the model even if there's a bit of a dodgy one here or there, and there have been a few duds over the years. Last few have been reasonably good though. At that very competitive price point of around about 100 Earth credits, I feel the Pegasus 38 really does provide some good competition, a very familiar underfoot experience, and a very versatile outsole to boot. The lugs here do work on a variety of different surfaces and terrains, and I feel that really improves the overall value of the Peg 38. I mean, many runners don't want a shoe for every single occasion. As such, I think the 38 becomes a very usable tool for a variety of different runs. I think only top pace intervals or perhaps racing are out of reach for this shoe, maybe due to the slightly higher weight. If they could reduce that a little bit for next year, I think that improves the value further. I think in terms of longevity at its retail price, the Peg 38 is pretty hard to beat. You really do benefit from the Zoom Air in the forefoot of the shoe now. They've improved that upper. Taking all that into account, I think that affords the Peg 38 a place on today's list. We can't have a value video without including the Floatride Energy 3 or 2. I've been chatting to quite a few people today on Strava and they all love the Energy 3. Some insane deals actually. There was one chap I think picked it up for about 37 Earth credits. How can you lose? Very few drawbacks to this shoe as well. Sometimes when you pick up a more bargain or value shoe, you find there's a few drawbacks, but I think there's only one or two with this. Light and nimble enough for a daily shoe. A touch less bulky actually than the Peg 38 I mentioned a moment ago. And as I say, on sale can be picked up for as little as 40 Earth credits. Quite regularly. Very breathable, that's what people keep saying, even in the warmer weather we have right now in the UK. I've found the durability of the outsole to be excellent so far. I think we're on about 80 miles or so, and I can't see any wear whatsoever. I did recall having a conversation with somebody that's saying the Reebok shoes will just fall apart within like 100 miles or something. That ain't gonna happen. Perhaps only lacking a little bit in its long run shops. I don't think I'd want to take this for much more than about 10 miles. But that's still pretty good for a daily shoe. I think between 8 to 10 miles is a real sweet spot for the Floatride Energy 3. I think a cheap and cheerful daily workhorse, there's very little that comes close to it in terms of value. I mean, it's no Vaporfly Beta, is it? It's not designed as an Adios Pro Challenger. It's just a cheap and cheerful offering you can pick up, throw on, you know it's going to do the business. If you take it for what it is, a fun and very well cushioned, forgiving shoe. Okay, last but no means least is a very expensive shoe, but I think it holds up, in my opinion, better than any other super shoe. The Endorphin Pro 1 or 2 has to be right up there in terms of value from my perspective. Yes, it's an expensive shoe for sure, though the V1 can be picked up on some deals right now, which makes it a much more value offering. You will have to put on your Sherlock Holmes Deer Stalker though to find those deals. My reason for including this shoe here is the amazing durability that I have experienced using the Endorphin Pro. You've got superb fit and feel, and the consistency that you find in the midsole, complete with that carbon plate, doesn't deteriorate over time. I found the forgiving underfoot foam here made it a superb, very versatile shoe that I could use on a more daily basis. They do smell damn good too, a bit like a huge vat of calamine lotion in a garden centre. I mean, what else do you want as a runner? It's one of the most alluring smells of all time. No, seriously though, a more wearable shoe here with some real race chops if you need that. A nice wide landing platform as well. I never felt too self-conscious putting this shoe on just to go out training. There's a few super shoes when you put them on, something like the RC Elite 2, that you feel a bit of a Burke really, wearing that for training. If you're going to turn up at a race, I mean, you got to really turn it on when you're wearing a purple sparkly shoe. This doesn't really have that problem, it just kind of looks like a regular running shoe, and it feels anything but a regular running shoe. I wore it for shorter, easier efforts, longer, harder efforts, and it always performed well. Is that not value, if you can wear it for all sorts of different runs? Yes, it's pricey, but I hope you do understand my reasoning for including it here today. A shoe you can use more frequently that doesn't wear down very quickly at all. Outsole was insanely durable. It retains its rigidity over time as well, which can't be said, in my experience, about the Endorphin Speed. And I think it's that bit more durable than the likes of the Vaporfly Next Percent and also the Hoka One One Carbon X2. So that's my fourth shoe today, the Saucony Endorphin Pro 1 or 2. What do you make of my awesome foursome, guys? I've tried to pick out the things that I feel really present some good value. What are your top shoes for value, guys? The shoes that keep on giving day in, day out. Let me know down in the comments. Time for a musical interlude. Now I think I've included this one before, quite a while back, but the tunes are so good, I have to include it again. If you can hunt it down, the Airbag EP from Radiohead. Now this one features a load of different B-sides from the period around about 1998. It includes the awesome track Airbag, obviously, from OK Computer, but it does make you realise just how brilliant Radiohead were. They had so many good songs around that time. They could fill up a whole mini album. A Reminder and Polyethylene are two standouts here. I always love a waltz time tune, something where you've got some different time signatures, weird instrumentation, this almost floating vibe. Radiohead are always good for creating those atmospheres, make you feel a certain way. Polyethylene's a winner as well. There's some tremendous guitars there. Thunderous, triumphant noise. That's a good noise. A good noise. One of those weird mini albums that you don't tend to get all that often anymore. Very exciting picking those up. It felt like you had a little mini series or something to listen to. That's the Airbag EP from Radiohead. Thanks for sticking with me to the very end of the video today, guys. If you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button and click the bell below for notifications when we launch those new videos for you. And it really helps the channel out too in terms of the YouTube algorithm if you give this video a thumbs up like and also share it with your running buddies. My name's Ed Budd and I'll be seeing you